What's up, YouTube? This is SkullShirtGold TCG, and I am here with the one and only GlitchxCity.
What it do?
So, for the three of you who don't know who she is, I would introduce her, but I think you could probably do a better job at introducing yourself. So, how about you tell everyone who you are, what you do?
My name is GlitchxCity, also known as Courtney, since my name is obviously out there on the internet. I do Pokemon remixes and other remixes, and I play Pokemon and I scream at a computer screen. Yep, that pretty much sums about what I do on the internet.
So, I had the pleasure of meeting you at the Pokemon World Championships, and one of the biggest things in my mind of the entire event was when we went to the rehearsals for the Pokemon Symphonic Evolutions. Yeah, she sees where I'm going with this. And we got to see, well, me and Tamashi and Chugga Conroy, Maryland, Sepizan, bunch of people got to see you conduct the orchestra for the opening piece for the concert. And before we started, I just wanted to ask, how was that to actually conduct a piece of Pokemon music?
If you couldn't tell, I was pretty damn nervous because before I went on stage, I got a lesson by the Junichi Masuda and the conductor and the arranger, Chad Sider. And Susie Sider is the original conductor, but she wasn't present, so we had Tim fill in for her, and they gave me a quick 10-minute lesson, and it's actually pretty easy. It's just that I was so nervous that I might screw up, and I did screw up, but it was very empowering. When I was up there, I'm like, I have the symphony in my hands. I mean, obviously they knew what they were doing. I was just their guide, but you can feel the emotion, the intensity of the orchestra with you conducting. It was just like, oh yeah.
Well, you did a great job. I mean, what you say you screwed up. All you did.
I did.
The only thing you didn't. Well, you forgot to count the last 8 measures.
Yeah, the last 8
You were
measures.
just the orchestra was just holding one note for those 8 measures. It's not that big of a deal. So
I was just like, oh, we're not done. Oh, y'all got it. I'll just
no. I mean, you did a tremendous job, and as you mentioned, you didn't mention it specifically, but you were preceded by, during the rehearsals by the Junichi Masuda, who writes the Pokemon music, and I think I'm actually the only one of our group who didn't get to meet him because of one reason or another. But you got to meet him. You got to conduct an orchestra right after he did. Did you get to hold the same baton?
No, we did not. I was holding the one that Tim gave to me. Obviously, I had to give it back. I couldn't keep it. I was like, oh. That was actually the second time that I met Mr. Masuda, because actually the third time. First time was Worlds last year. That was my first time ever going to a Pokemon competition of any kind, and getting to meet Mr. Masuda, going to the world premiere of Pokemon Symphonic Evolutions, and then taking pictures with Masuda. Was just like, oh my god. And when I saw him again, I'm like, hey bestie, how are you?
Well, it's on my bucket list for next year's Worlds to meet him. So, before we get into my actual list of questions, I actually just thought of this one. Was that your first Pokemon Symphonic Evolutions that you attended?
No, it was not. It was actually my second one. I attended the premiere last year in DC because somebody came up to me, and that's how I got the exclusive track for Team Rocket, which is pretty much my favorite track from the symphony. And then when I heard that it was going to be at Worlds again, I'm like, this is perfect.
Yeah.
You get 2 in 1.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. That was my only experience. I'm hoping to go to the one in Fort Worth in January, so.
Oh, please do, because I will not be in Texas, and I'm going to need as many Texans to come out and give support to the symphony.
Right, exactly. Guys, if you haven't seen the symphony, this isn't propaganda or anything, but you have to see it.
It's propaganda!
This is, I mean, it's a great concert. If you're a Pokemon fan, you are missing out by not seeing it. So anyway, now we'll get into the actual questions.
Oh wait, don't forget to bring your 3DS. That is a must.
Don't forget to bring your... In fact, Courtney here, actually on this very 3DS, got me the last puzzle piece I needed for my
Yes!
streetcast.
I got all them puzzle pieces. If you pass me, I got you, fam.
Same here. Well, one of them. So anyway, on to the questions. You probably guessed that this one was coming. The biggest question of all, when did you get into Pokemon?
I don't know how many times I told the story, because even people who don't follow me on YouTube, they were like, you know, we know you like Pokemon, but how? So when I moved into the place where my parents are at now, I was an only kid, and my parents worked day in, day out. They sent me to a daycare that was nearby the neighborhood, and I was 5 years old, about to go into kindergarten, so I spent my last half of the summer there, and all they had to put on TV was Pokemon VHSs. Now, here comes the funny part. The very first episode I saw was the episode where they had this giant Gengar and this giant Alakazam fight. They were like ancient Pokemon.
Yeah.
Come out of like ancient artifacts. And I was scared. Am I allowed to curse?
I can just bleep it out, don't worry.
Okay. I was scared. I was really scared when I saw that Gengar. That's the main reason why I don't like Gengar, and the King Nappy taunts me for this every single time. But I just don't like Gengar because of that reason. So after I watched like a bazillion Pokemon VHSs, mostly on rerun, they had like the first season wasn't completed by them, but they had pretty much up to the point right before the Indigo League. So I watched all those episodes on VHS, and I told my parents, hey, I really like this, and I watch Pokemon every morning before I go to school. That's when they had Pokemon like daily in the morning.
Yeah.
And then for my 6th birthday, I got my very first gaming handheld, which was a Game Boy Color. Since you're filming this.
Oh, get to see a little bit into her personal life.
Yeah, it doesn't have that much wear and tear. However, it has that little red button thing there. And my first Pokemon game ever, which was, yes, Pokemon Gold. However, I didn't know how to play Pokemon properly when I was a wee lass. So here's the funny thing. I thought that going to the Pokemon Center in Cherry Grove City, healing your Pokemon, I didn't know it was healing at the time. I thought it made them stronger. So I was constantly going to that Pokemon Center, talking to Nurse Joy, and I'm like, I'm getting somewhere in this game. And then I realized about a couple months later, I was like, I've been playing Pokemon so wrong.
That's fine. You know how I learned to play? I played the trading card game before the video games. So I thought that rock and fighting and ground were all the same thing.
Oh.
So to this day, I still I can't remember. Okay, is fighting weak to grass? I can't remember. So no, but yeah, I started in Gen 2 as well. So that's really awesome. I still believe that Gold, Silver, and Crystal are the best Pokemon games. So
yeah, we can argue about that.
We could argue about that. It's not a question of mine, so we don't have to. But
okay.
So
I don't want to slaughter you on your own interview.
No. No. This is your interview, please.
Oh. Okay.
Okay. Oh, is that Libre Pikachu in the background?
Yes, that's the one that Emil Conroy got for me, because when I first went to the Pokemon Center, they didn't have any of the Libres, and after they showed them, like, I want it. I really want it. And they didn't have it for the first 2 days, and Emil was such a good person. He was like, here, I got this for you. I'm like, what's your soul?
It was like the mascot of the whole competition, so everyone wanted one. And look, you got one.
I know! And now I have to have Pikachu Libre in every single video I do with webcam. I'm like, it has to be there.
Well, it's there. So, awesome. And just for that, I will move my webcam from one side of the screen to the other so everyone can see it.
Yes.
Okay. Next question. What do you like best about Pokemon? Or is this one
music.
obvious? Okay.
Obviously the music.
And my follow-up question was, besides music?
I guess the adventure, because when I was little, I didn't have any siblings until I was like 8 years old. But oh my god, we're not going to get into that. I would just escape from being just alone and just have Pokemon with me because it would be like a day adventure. And funny thing was, when I finally got the gist of playing Pokemon Gold, we didn't have rechargeable batteries back then. So every Saturday, because Saturday would be my free day, after watching Saturday morning cartoons on Kids WB and Fox Kids, I would switch out the batteries of my Game Boy Color, put fresh batteries in, and since my gold version cartridge got messed up because I put it in my overalls, and my overalls were put in the washer, and the internal battery was messed up, I would stick Pokemon Gold in, start a new game because that's the only thing I could do. I couldn't save because the battery was messed up. And I would always make it to Ice Cave by like 5 or 6 in the evening because I would start at like 9, 10 in the morning. And I would just go on hours upon hours of playing Pokemon. And since it didn't have the back lights and stuff, I would open the front door to the house and sit there, have like the light show on my Game Boy. And I'll be like, I have to make it an ice cave. I have to make it an ice cave. And it's just great to escape, you know, have your own little adventure. I just really like that aspect of Pokemon.
Yeah, this is things that kids these days will never understand. The struggle of not having a backlight on your Game Boy.
Having to go outside or something, or have like a lamp on it, or have that little plug-in thing that we put on the side. It had like a little
yeah, I had one of those. Yeah, it was amazing. And then they made the Game Boy SP. So.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, the little thing where it actually did have a backlight on it.
Yes, that was a lightsaber. But apparently they didn't have the headphone jack for the SPs because that was a.
Actually, I have an SP on me right now, and wow, you're right. No, they didn't. Wow. Okay.
You had to go through.
See, you spoil kids with your 3DSs, with your little C-stick and all that stuff. So just escaping from the world and entering the world of Pokemon.
Yes.
That's absolutely great. I'm glad to hear that. But first and foremost, of course, music.
Of course.
Of course. No. Well, okay, the next question is, do you play any instruments?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, there's a huge keyboard in your background, but I just had to ask.
Actually, it was a graduation/birthday gift from my parents because...
Oh, that's great.
My birthday was literally the day before graduation for high school, and my parents were like, do you want a party? Do you want a gift for your birthday and your graduation? And I'm like, I really don't want anything but this. And I have to thank my parents so much for it because it was amazing. Because before then, I would have like a 44 key MIDI board. It wasn't even MIDI board. It was just... It was
just a little something.
Yeah, it was just a little something to hold me over. And then I got this nice baby grand imitation 88 key. It's just amazing.
Well, instruments are always the best gifts.
Yes.
Okay, so you play the keyboard. Well, piano, keyboard.
Piano
whatever.
mostly, but it's the same thing.
Yeah.
I play a little of the guitar, a little. And when I mean a little, I mean a little. Like, just literally one string at a time. I can pick out the notes. Like, playing piano has taught me to pick out notes on whatever instrument I'm playing, so it's easy to pick up stuff on that.
Yeah.
But transitioning from piano to strings, it's really tough because I'm used to my hands being spread out, and having your hand position on the guitar in certain ways and your fingers is just... I couldn't adapt very well, but I know enough about the guitar to play something.
Yeah, okay. I asked you this at Worlds, but so everyone knows, what do you use to make your Pokemon remixes, or just your music in general? Because you're not doing just Pokemon anymore. So
branching out a little here and there. What I use is FL Studios 10. I'm actually starting to integrate 12. It's a great program that I got for free. It's a great program. Don't get me wrong. It's freaking amazing. There are other programs out there like Logitech, Cubase, GarageBand, but most of those are for Mac users, and eventually I want to get a Mac so I can start using other programs and stuff. But right now I'm just sticking with FL Studios because I know FL Studios.
And your music that comes out of it is great. So
thank you.
I mean, it's hard to argue about using a program that makes such great music. Out of curiosity, do you ever use like real instruments? Like, do you ever have someone that you know just record themselves doing an instrument or something?
I have had on occasions friends that I go to school with. They would help me out. My friend, he plays the sax. He actually played a sax for one of my pieces. I'm not going to name which one. I'm going to let you guys pick it out. And there have been times where I have recorded myself playing on that and used whatever I played on there and translated it into FL Studios. I can hook a MIDI output to it, but the thing is I would have to drag this over here or drag the laptop over there. So hopefully in the future I get a nice MIDI keyboard so I can just place at my desk.
You should just get a studio.
I should.
Yeah, right. Just make it so your laptop and your keyboard are like right by each other, and then you have like a huge board full of different sound level mixing and stuff like that.
Oh man, the dream.
That would be amazing. Okay. What advice can you give to others who want to start making music?
Just get out there and try. Obviously, your very first piece you're going to produce is not going to be your absolute best, but it will be something to hold you over until you get better. But just get out and try. Explore different sounds. Don't just stick to one genre. That's something I had to learn myself, and obviously other people told me. And branch out to other genres because you never know what you'll be good at or what you're weak in until you try.
Okay. What's your favorite Pokemon?
Dragonair.
Dragonair. Do you have a favorite Pokemon song?
Ooh.
I know it's hard to choose, isn't it?
It's tough. I'm gonna go with Route 4, specifically Fire Red and Leaf Green's arrangement, because I didn't start out with Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow, but I did play while I was doing my run of Gold, but I didn't own it. So when Fire Red and Leaf Green came out after I had my Sapphire version, I was like, oh my gosh. And when I first heard Route 4, actually it played on Route 2 when you're about to go to the Indigo Plateau, I'm like, this is amazing. Holy crap. Because I didn't make it that far in my Gold version. I didn't ever make it to Kanto. So when I first heard Route 4, I'm like, this is it. It's so adventurous. There's just so many feels going into it. It's hard to explain. Like, you're on an adventure, and then it goes to this part where you're just like, I've hit a point where I can't continue, but I know if I just continue on with my adventure, I can make it towards the end of the game. There's just so many feelings going into that.
Yeah, well, I mean...
it's hard to explain.
I know it is. That's one great thing about Pokemon is that the music is almost always just so amazing, and it really gets you... it gives you a feel for what's going on and how you're supposed to be feeling and stuff.
Yes. And then second would have to be like Erase. Right now it's my ringtone.
Okay. Well, that's almost all the questions I have, actually. I have to ask, do you have anything in the works that we can expect in the future? And you can feel free to say no comments if you want.
All I have to say is collaborations. There's already one collab released today by me and Tricky Wee, aka Shelby. It's a nice little Halloween special. You should check it out. But a lot of collabs in the future.
Okay, sounds great. How much would I have to pay you to remix Friends, Fights, and Finales from the Symphonic Evolutions?
Well, you see. I don't know. I think I'm gonna have to sit in a lot more on the symphony to get a feel of it. You know.
Just have that bass rip through your soul.
Oh my God! Yes.
Yeah, that's my favorite song from the whole thing. But anyway, on a similar note, I think you mentioned on Twitter or YouTube or somewhere that you were maybe thinking of doing commissions sometime in the future. Do you have any comments on that?
Yes, I was doing commissions as like a trial run earlier in August because people have been suggesting to me for years you should do commissions. So I was like, okay. So I did it for a trial run. It went pretty well. I actually uploaded one of the commissions which was the Super Mario Galaxy and the Pokemon Rejuvenation, because they asked me to do a track specifically for the game. I'm like, I got you, fam.
That's amazing, and I love the Mario Galaxy thing. Ignore all the comments, guys.
The comments were amazing.
And we'll leave it at that. So, but yeah, I mean, those tracks were amazing. They're great. I don't know what else to say. So, maybe sometime in the future for other things.
Oh yes, definitely. Because the best part about doing commissions is that people will come up to you with stuff you haven't heard before, or maybe you've played the game but haven't really paid attention to this track. And then I get my hands on it and I'm like, why haven't I done this before? This is amazing.
Yeah.
It just gets to explore like a new genres or new, not only games, but just new different types of music, different sounds.
Yeah. Well, that does it for all my questions. Is there anything else you would like to add?
If you are in the UK area around December 20th, I highly recommend that you attend Pokemon Symphonic Evolutions. Hint, wink, wink.
No. That's going to be awesome. Seriously, if you're in the UK, go. No questions. Just go.
Just go. Bring your
CDS.
Just do it.
Yes, exactly. So
do it for the vine.
As I said before, if you're a Pokemon fan, you have to attend this concert.
Like it's a must.
Yes. It's like you must do it. It's top 100 things to do before you die. So that does it for this. Thank you so much, Glitch / Courtney, for this interview. And everyone, go check out her channel. I mean, seriously, if you haven't already, then you probably heard her music in other videos. So just check her out. She's great. Her music's great. Everything about her is great. And, well, once again, just thanks for being here.
No probs.